Hi guys, and welcome back to another episode of Under Embargo with Chelsea. Today, we're on the page of Xavier Simons, or Simons, probably Simons, because he's, British and all that. Yeah, one of the players I was told to check out. I don't think there's a great future for him. He did have a good, reasonably decent last season, but he's just been tailing off a little bit on his progress into this year. Couple of goals, couple of assists, a reasonable rating overall, a substitute appearance in the Checker Trade Trophy as well for the lad, but it's not quite cutting the grade as things stand currently. But it's a shame. It's one of those things, though. Look at the linesman after the first goal. Looks like he's calling for offside while running down the line. Now, this is related to the ghost goal that we scored against Liverpool. And the only thing I can think of as to how this has happened is because I thought that it was offside too, based on the way the linesman was moving. And I think the only explanation I can think of is that the animation for offside triggered for some reason. And then as a result of that, it didn't count the shot in the statistics, but it wasn't actually offside as far as the game was concerned. And as a result, it counted the goal, but didn't count in the statistics, and the animations that were played were wrong. That's the only thing I could think of. A little beta glitch that caused it. Because I went back and looked at it properly from above, and it was actually onside. So, yeah, I have no idea what that was about, but hopefully it's just a beta thing, Has Pochettino been sacked yet? Oh boy, has he. As you can see, he was sacked, and then replaced by Bielsa, who was only there for 136 days before being sacked again. So, yeah, not only have Spurs sacked Pochettino, but they've also sacked Bielsa in this save, and have now got Massimiliano Allegri in charge of them at the moment. So, yeah, you could definitely say that Pochettino and Spurs have had a bit of a turbulent time so far, which is interesting because it kind of mimics their real-life struggles at the moment. Not having a great season so far. You can see so far that they're 8th in the Premier League again, looking like they might not qualify for Europe this season again, because I don't think they got in the Europa League at all last year. Mental. Anyway, we've had a crap ton of games off camera. I thought we'd do a big bumper load before we come back against Sturm Graz. Don't worry, we're not going to do all Europa League stuff. I just thought it was a cool little... It's something different to what we did last season. We're going to concentrate on the league as well, because I expect we're to be going pretty far in the Europa League, particularly with the group that we were handed. Now, it's been a weird one in terms of the fixtures we've had off camera. The results have been relatively positive, I'd have to say. Still a few little issues for me, though. We'll talk about that in a minute. So fresh off the back of our Europa League victory of 4-0, we went and beat Sheffield United by 3-1. A fairly straightforward game. We were thrashing out early goals, basically. Pulisic grabbed one, a couple for Jadon Sancho. They started off fairly strongly, and then they just sort of fizzled. And then we scored 3 goals in under 10 minutes and just sunk them. They did get a goal back, though. Florinel Coman went through and scored a 1-on-1. It was a glorious day for them. I will give them that at least. But then, unfortunately, we were awarded a penalty, and of course, we missed the penalty. I think that's the third or fourth. It's the third penalty we've missed this season, and it's the 4th penalty in games we've been involved in that's been missed. I don't think there's been a single one scored yet, so that's a little bit weird. I think too many penalties are being awarded, and virtually none of them are being scored now. So that's something that definitely needs to be looked at. But all round, brilliant performance. 57% possession, a 3-1 victory. We've got a really good team ethic going right now. The board are actually happy with all of the things we're doing because we're starting to build the possession up. Look at this, 27 fouls. Unfortunately, though, we then went out and played a pretty rotated side against Swansea in the Carabao Cup, and unfortunately went out on penalties because they scored all 5 of theirs in the shootout, but unfortunately Giroud was the man that missed. Had a bit of an issue in this game as well, in that Loftus-Cheek started, then went off after 5 minutes. Clinton Mola came on, and then went off after 19 minutes, so a lot of our subs were used on just replacing that one central midfield spot. Not great to go out the Carabao Cup. The board don't really care, though, and it's annoying. I wanted to go through so we could have an opportunity to play some slightly younger players in the team, but again, it just doesn't seem to happen for us. But then, a enormous result. 3-1 at home to Manchester United. This is where the real stuff happened. Tammy Abraham gave us the lead, somewhat against the run of play at that point, but after that, it was all us for quite some time. Erling Haaland made it 2-0 to us, which was glorious. Made even more glorious by the fact that his goal, Willian got the ball on his own sort of byline, essentially, because he'd been forced back. He just crossed it straight across his own box, and there was Haaland to head it home for 2-0 Chelsea. They then immediately got on back when Anthony Martial's header, I think it was his header, hit the post. No, it was Greenwood's header. Greenwood's header hit the post, bounced back to Martial, who then headed it in, unfortunately. But then Mason Mount scored a wonderful free kick a few moments later to give us a 3-1 victory. He has been exceptional so far. 6 key passes in that match, and essentially the goal that killed off the game, basically. Really, really pleased with his work. Might even start favouring him over Kovacic in the long run. He seems to really suit this style of play that we're going for at the moment. But a huge win over United, who were up to that point 100%. Then we had Spartak, probably the toughest game that we were going to face in this group. And my God, this was one hell of a final 10 minutes of the game. We were dominating the game, but not quite creating the high quality of chances that I wanted. And then Kirill Panchenko just got the ball and thumped one into the top corner. And I thought, oh, it's going to be one of those games, isn't it? But then, literally, Kovacic to come on around at the 70th minute. And he then provided 2 wonderful assists First for Tammy Abraham, and then for Erling Haaland not long after that to make it 2-1 to us. Really, really top turnaround. Like, I think we deserved it. It just took a long time for it to come, and Kovacic wasn't man of the match in the end because Panchenko scored the long ranger, but we got a huge win away from home, and we're now 4 points clear at the top of our group. Excellent times. Then things took a bit of a downward spiral. 2 days after that, we had to play against Huddersfield away from home. It was we had an international break afterwards, so I thought we could get away with playing a relatively similar team, but there was a few little issues. For example, Alonso played instead of Emerson, Ampadu came in instead of Rudiger, a few little changes that were made like that. We just didn't create enough in this match. We still had an opportunity or two in this one, and maybe on another day could have won, but in the end it was a 0-0 draw away at bottom place Huddersfield. Not a good performance, really. Kante was the best player on the pitch, and when a sort of midfielder like that is the best player on the pitch, that says it all, really, doesn't it? And then we were mugged in broad daylight by Spurs for the second season in a row. Admittedly, this time we did at least get out the game with a point, but my giddy aunt. Particularly as Harry Kane went off injured, Son came on and then immediately went off injured, and then on came Lucas Moura, I think it was, in the end. But lordy lord, they had one shot on target and it was a Roberto Pereira thunderbolt. Just like Lo Celso's goal. Well, not just like Lo Celso. It was a ball played to the back post, headed away. He was on sort of the quadrant, the corner of the box, just thunderbolt, straight in the top corner. Frustrating, I have to say. Or was it headed away, actually? No, I think it was crossed by Dele Alli and it just missed everybody, and there he was. But, yeah, annoying. Thankfully, Tammy Abraham did score the equaliser for us, but my God, we need to be winning these matches. That's 2 seasons in a row that Spurs have scored a goal against us that just completely killed us in these games. We should have been winning this one, but you can see there just wasn't enough key passes, and I don't know why. Like, we had enough shots in this match. I'm not sure why this key passes is so low, actually, but there you go. So not the best, but all in all, a good start to the season. We're sitting 18 points after 9 matches. We are currently sitting in the top 4, which is the most important factor. We're ahead of Arsenal, even better. Man United are still in front of us. Liverpool and Manchester City are just trouncing teams. I think Liverpool have scored 4 or 5 goals in virtually every single match they've played this season, except against us, actually. Callum Wilson now has 10 league goals for Bournemouth in his first 9 matches. Holy crap. Tammy Abraham's got 8 already. The amount of goals Tammy Abraham has scored for us over the course of this save is utterly insane. So fair play to the lad as well. But look at this. Ryan Fraser as well with 5 assists. Bournemouth scored 6 goals, I think, away at Burnley or something. So there's that. Dropping points away at the bottom club Huddersfield, though, that is a bit of a problem for us. But, I mean, sometimes you're just going to get those results, aren't you? The Spurs one, if anything, irked me more because we were much better in that game. I mean, just looking at Tammy Abraham's record for us over the course of this save so far. I mean, he got 24 goals in the league last year and 6 assists. This year he's got 8 already in the division. I think he could be on for 30 goals this year, and that would be bloody fantastic. But today is about Sturmgrat, a little bit different in the Europa League. If we can win this one too and go on to onto 9 points, we would really be in a very strong position. I want to get this group sewn up as quickly as possible so we actually can experiment with some of the younger players, because I want to give Panahi some chances, and if he's available or not ineligible because of other games, I want to have him on the bench tonight just to see. Hudson-Odoi's not got so much game time lately because Sancho's is Jadon Sancho, but he's always been coming off the bench in virtually every single game to replace Sancho, and when Sancho's not performed well, he's been the first man I've been bringing in there. So I'm tempted, to bring Mason Mount back in. Kovacic was really bad against Spurs. Like, he bailed us out after coming off the bench against Spartak, but Mason Mount, look at this performance. He deserves his place in the team, and he's got a nice link with Kante, which definitely helps. Lots of links appearing all over the team, which I don't think we had so much last year. Then again, that might just be because of the patch. I think the game was a bit broken on terms of links before, so that could have helped us as well. I also started Fariñez in the last game, and I'm not even sure why I did that. I think that was because I accidentally clicked the suggested lineup, and I didn't imagine that it would be in the... I don't know why my assistant would have put him in, but Kepa's back today. On the bench, we're going to go with Bellingham, Alonso, Hudson-Odoi, Giroud, Christensen, Kovacic, and Chacon. Oh, wait, no, we're not, because my man Panahi is available. So I'm going to put him on the bench instead of Chacon for this one, because I want to bring him on later and give him a chance, a taste of Europe, and see what he can do in replacing Christian Pulisic. I just want to keep giving him little tastes of his first team appearances, because you guys are going to see loads about him later anyway. So, yeah, let's have a little look. That is an incredibly defensive-looking team, which should allow us to keep a lot of the ball. We might have to move over to something I tried in later games where we weren't creating as much as going to hit early crosses but not changing anything else. That seems to work. They do play Route 1, though. Is this the guy that used to play for... No, it's definitely not. Amika Friday Ease. Lovely old job. So they are such a defensive team. It is unreal. So with that in mind... We're just going to... Oh, we don't have anything set on these ones. I need to set some of these. Oh, there we go. So Lima, this guy we are going to go after. This guy we're not, because he's a defensive winger. We've got Sakic on the right. Okay, that should be fine. We've got to go and win this match, really. There's no real two ways about this. We are the favourites. Absolutely. Let's go crack some heads. You can really see, though, that as things stand at the moment, we're already pulling a gap. And if we were to win here, we would go, what, 7 points above Sturmgratz? And if the other two draw, which they could potentially do, we could be as far as 6 points clear already after 3 matches, which would be ideal. Spartak are winning, though, as you would kind of expect. I feel like they're probably the second strongest team in this group. But even as things stand, they would still, if we win here, be 5 points behind us at the halfway stage. Once we've got the group sewn up, then we can basically rest players and play youngsters in games just to see what they're like. And then I might stop concentrating so much on the matches in terms of showing you guys. And oh my god, they've scored. Michael John Lima has put Sturmgratz in front with their first shot of the game, admittedly after 5 minutes. We trail at home. Okay, this is going to be a bit of an interesting one. We're going to have to come from behind here. I think we might need to get a bit more aggressive and not be standing off as much because they're a worse opponent. They really bad from Reece James there, I think. Or it might have even been Pulisic losing his man. I'm actually going to go straight for this by upping the tempo slightly, pushing the line up a little bit, and then just upping the press. Because I just think that they're a worse team than that, and we need to make sure that we get in on them hard and try to win the ball a bit easier. Mason Mount's going to need a big performance today. Oh dear, that's not a good start. There was a few times against Spurs as well where he got into really good positions, literally on the byline, and instead of just pulling it back to a guy who was completely open in the box, they're still shooting into the side netting. Way too much for me. I completely get that in real life you do get selfish players taking those shots on sometimes, but it feels like they're doing it too often. Herlander, get across here. Yeah, well played. They actually look pretty dangerous on the break, to be honest. Oh, well played. Kepa with a lovely distribution there to Pulisic. This is what we need. We need to get them cold here. And that's surely going to be a penalty. That'll do. Looked harsh. Didn't look... Usually when they say that looked harsh, they're almost always given. Confirm the decision. Then again, it's a penalty. And every single penalty that I've seen, 4 out of 4 so far this season, have been missed. Both for us and opponents. Mason Mount stepping up. And he scored it! Wow, there we go. Chelsea 1, Sturmgratz 1, and Spartak Moscow are 2-0 up now in their game away at Karabakh, who actually were 2-0 up in their game against Sturmgratz in the last round as well. Great finish from Mason Mount. Glad he's in the team. That's a lovely finish from him. Right, let's get this going now. Mount's ball in. And Haaland! And off the crossbar again, and it's in off the... I don't know what's happened there. All I know is Tammy Abraham has put Chelsea in front with his 10th goal of the year already, and we've turned it around. To be fair, we have created 4 clear-cut opportunities, but I do think that 2 of them were in one move here. I think we hit the bar again. Haaland... it's back across. Abraham's initial header hits the crossbar, and he's able to put the rebound in there. 2 chances for Abraham. At the second bite of the cherry, he puts it in. Lovely stuff. Honestly, if you'd looked at those stats on the grand scheme of things, you'd think we dominated that game, but it really has taken us a little while to get the cobwebs out of us. I'm going to be tempted to... If we score a 3rd goal, I might get Banaki on for a little run out for the second half. Replace Pulisic, see what the lad's capable of for half an hour. Sancho. But I don't want to do it too soon because, you know, we've still got... This game is still in the balance, potentially. Pulisic. Poor. Although Reece James might be able to find something here. And, oh my god. How has Tammy Abraham put that in? Chelsea 3, Sturmgratz 1, his 11th goal of the season. I think he could grab 35 this year, in all honesty. Reece James will grab... Reece James got the assist. How did that happen? Oh, of course, there, yeah. What happened then? Abraham's running away from goal, and... I'm sorry, how is that Reece James' assist, by the way? And now somehow we've got more possession than them. Yeah, they've awoken the beast here. Abraham, and Haaland, and now makes it 4. Erling Haaland, Chelsea 4, Sturmgratz 1, and we are demolishing them now. Now that we've woken up against them a little bit. Took us a while, but we really have... Yeah, massively woken up. Abraham with the assist this time, whips it across. Haaland with a brilliant header. Goalkeeper can't keep it out. Second time of asking, bam. Right, I'm going to make the change now. But just giving him the first team experience, I just think is super important. Even if it's only for, you know, a few minutes here and there at the moment. Just getting him in the team a little bit. Oh my goodness. Schrammel's made it 4-2 out of nothing. But that's not dissimilar to the goal that Pereira scored for Spurs against us, where they just sort of got the ball in a nothing position, and then bam, bottom corner. Nothing you can do about it. Those shots from the edge of the area out wide here do seem to still be quite overpowered. It's a great strike. Goalkeeper could have done better. Well, honestly, bringing on these substitutes might be the worst thing we ever did, in all honesty, because nothing's happened. It's completely killed the game dead. A lot of the intensity's just died, which is a shame, but I think it's just one of those things, unfortunately, that happens. Point is, we've managed to rest a few players, and Tomori puts it wide. 4-2, honestly, feels a bit harsh on us, but there you go. We'll take the win in the end anyway. Another 4 goals scored in Europe. That's a decent amount. I can't believe we conceded 2 goals to this lot, but there you go. Another win for us. Ended up with 56% possession after being down to like 36 at one point. But there you go. 2 goals for Tammy Abraham again. Man of the match. Another pair of goals. We scored a penalty as well. What more do you want? Just so you could sort of see how the club vision's shaping out, since we've got a bit more time in this episode again, we're improving the youth facilities because the board... We got downgraded, and I immediately asked the board, and they were like, nah, we'll probably be all right. And I was like, are you sure about that? And then they eventually changed their mind, which was nice. So, play attacking football, delighted. Possession football, not delighted, but satisfied, which is better than what we were at before. Delighted on that. Very pleased with the entertaining football. High reputation. Delighted. Lovely old job. Working within a wage budget. This stuff here, I guess it's kind of difficult to judge, but Europa League, we're on course for that. Everything is looking very, very nice, and that's why we're up to B. It was B+ until we drew with Huddersfield, but that's just one of those things, I suppose. I'm very, very pleased with the way things are going. I think tactically we're much more secure this year. Now that we've actually, I feel like, I'm actually kind of glad. I feel like the game is more realistic now, and we can actually play a better style of football than we wanted to before, so I'm actually alright with that. We've had to change things a little bit to float some crosses in and stuff, but the big strikers are still doing their job. Erling Haaland and Tammy Abraham have both been excellent this year. They've still got a decent amount of goals between them, you know? That's weird. 2 games against Norwich in 2 days. Huh? Is that because of the Club World Cup, perhaps? Although what I would say is, when the hell is that? There's a bit of a gap here. That might be it. I don't know. It's weird. Was that the 10th of December? That's a lot of games off camera to do. But then again, I'm tempted to come back and do the final Europa League game. I don't know. We'll see when we come back. I want to get through the season a lot faster this time around, so we might do that. Also, we've only actually lost 2 matches this year, which is pretty solid. I think we got an achievement for unbeatable, which I think is 10 games? I don't know. Anyway, if you've enjoyed this episode, and I hope you have, drop a like. That'll be fantastic. And if you're new to the channel, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next episode. Hopefully we can keep the train rolling and try to stay in the top 4 is kind of the main thing. But we've got a lot of games that are eminently winnable, but that means we're going to have an insanely tough run of matches at some point, I assume. But before Christmas, we really need to be winning as many as possible and solidifying ourselves as a top 4 side. I'll see you guys soon. Thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.